A powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake jolts central Philippines, collapsing buildings and killing at least 26 people now on the island of Cebu, with fears the toll could rise as rescuers search for survivors.
Yemen's Houthis claim responsibility for an attack on a Dutch cargo ship this week in the Gulf of Aden. Cargo ship MV was hit by a projectile on Monday, wounding 2 people and sparking a fire.
Well, we're going to do about 3 or 4 days. We'll see how it is. All of the Arab countries are signed up. The Muslim countries are all signed up.
Donald Trump issues Hamas an ultimatum of 3 or 4 days to accept his plan to end the war in Gaza, warning of severe consequences if they refuse. Hamas is yet to respond as it continues to review the terms.
One dead, 15 others injured in Russian drone strike on the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Attack ignites fire that engulfs a large office building and damages nearby structures, including a children's hospital.
We'll probably have a shutdown because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare, to illegal immigrants. And what that does is it keeps them coming into our country.
U.S. government barrels towards its first shutdown in 6 years, with funding expiring at midnight after Democrats fight a war of words with Donald Trump and senators reject a last-ditch bid to keep the lights on.
Will you get the Nobel Prize? Absolutely not. They'll give it to some guy that didn't do a damn thing. It'll be a big insult to our country, I will tell you that.
Trump says it would be an insult to the US if he does not receive the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in resolving multiple global conflicts, as the prestigious award is set to be announced on the 10th of October.
UNSC adopts a resolution to transform a UN-backed security mission in gang-dominated Haiti into a full-fledged force with military troops. New force can have a maximum of 5,500 uniformed personnel.
Military court in Democratic Republic of Congo sentences former President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia for treason. He was found guilty of collaborating with the M23 anti-government armed group.
South Korea hits a record high in semiconductor exports, topping $16.6 billion in September. Despite mounting U.S. tariffs, overall exports surged to $65.9 billion, the highest in over 3 years. And it's been a day since Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to U.S. President Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan.
But the war and the bloodshed, it continues to rage on in the Palestinian enclave. No change there. In the latest, at least 5 people have been killed and 12 others have been injured after the Israeli military struck the Deir al-Balah region in Gaza, according to Palestinian health officials. The bodies of the deceased have been moved to the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital. They also said that at least 36 people have been killed across the Gaza Strip on Tuesday alone.
Now, as the IDF continues to raise Gaza into rubble, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he will brief his cabinet on the details of U.S. President Trump's Gaza peace plan. Netanyahu said that he will be providing a detailed report to his cabinet members.
In Washington, I reached an understanding with President Donald Trump on a framework for the release of all our hostages and on achieving all the war objectives we have set. I will provide a more detailed report both to the members of the government and to the members of the cabinet.
Furthermore, the Israeli Prime Minister also announced the appointment of Major General David Zinni as the new head of the country's intelligence agency, Shin Bet. During his announcement, Netanyahu hailed Zinni, saying that he is the right man for the job.
I think he is the right man to lead the Shin Bet, someone who knows the system but is not in it. I have no doubt that he will have great success, and I am sure that everyone supports him. This success is important for the security of all Israeli citizens.
Now, as the world awaits Hamas's response on the Gaza peace plan, Israel's UN envoy has vowed that the IDF finish the job and bring back the hostages if the Palestinian militant group does not agree to the peace plan.
Echoing similar sentiments, US President Donald Trump has given Hamas an ultimatum of 3 to 4 days to accept his peace plan or face severe consequences. In the midst of all of this, Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani has said that the Gaza peace plan needs more clarity. And according to reports, the Qatari Prime Minister has said that the plan is in the early stages and needs development. All right, to discuss this further with us is John Rossimondo, who's the president of the Viking Research Associates, geostrategist and expert on national security. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. Mr. Rossimondo, thanks so much for joining us here on World DNA. Yes, sir. Now, the Qatari Prime Minister has given, he slid that aside in that there is more work which is required. And here we have the US President saying that, you have 3 to 4 days to accept this offer. This is of course, directed at Hamas. Now, we understand that Qatar is, or Hamas is closely linked with the Qatari state. So they would have a ideal understanding of what really Hamas wants at this point. Where do you see this going? Is 3 to 4 days enough, or this is just another green light of finishing the job role for Israel as it was suggested?
Well, I think that you're going to see, Hamas kind of, hem and haw in terms of, coming to an agreement. Let's not forget that Qatar hosts Hamas's leaders. It's given over $1 billion to the terrorist organization, so it has a lot of clout with Hamas. I think that we're seeing kind of a walk back from the unequivocal support given. But I think one of the issues that's a non-starter for the Arab side is the remainder of the IDF in the territory.
Absolutely, and that also comes where they also talk about how Tony Blair was also in the plans when it came to the reconstruction of Gaza that Trump had proposed. Other than that, Netanyahu is also trying to go to his ministers back home, trying to explain the details there. There is some delay there. Considering all of that, what kind of response are you expecting from Hamas, or if you could predict that for us?
Well, I think that if you look at Hamas's track record, it's never agreed to a peace agreement that would lead to the disarmament, which is kind of what the West wants, what the Arab League wants. So I think that we're going to be stuck where we're at, because the chances of Hamas surrendering are pretty slim.
John, just very quickly, also wanted to get your thoughts on this. Now, during the readout of that 20-point peace plan, it was suggested that Palestinian statehood would be on the cards maybe little later, if not immediately. And of course, we saw both leaders, Israeli and American, standing there saying, OK, we've all agreed to this. And then just after that, this is after that meeting with Donald Trump, Netanyahu said that Palestinian statehood is something that they will never agree to. So you're already seeing some kind of divergence from what was agreed upon. And we understand that a lot of the West Asian nations, for them, Palestinian statehood has been the core demand for any kind of talks further. Do you feel this is kind of falling apart before it even comes together?
Well, I think that, you have to, first of all, work to secure Israel's security needs. I think that's a main sticking point, at least for a lot of moderates in Israel, is no one ever talks about, keeping Israel safe from terrorist attacks, no more rockets, no more October 7th, and so forth, and having a government in Gaza controlled by the international community that is reliable, trustworthy, and can keep the peace. That's really important. That's why we're talking about Tony Blair. That's why we're talking about having a government there that isn't controlled by the Palestinians, because they've shown that they can't govern in peace.
Absolutely. And that being said, of course, we're also going to have to talk about the security of Gazans there who are dying daily. We'll have to figure out how that goes. But of course, it is yet to see how Hamas responds to this, how it goes forward. But thank you so much for joining us on the show and giving your perspective.
Thank you.
And the U.S. is barreling towards a federal government shutdown now just hours away.
As Congress has failed to pass the stopgap funding measure and both parties are locked in a high-stakes standoff. Democrats and Republicans, they remain at an impasse over funding negotiations.
The U.S. federal government is on the brink of shutdown at midnight Eastern time. Funding for many federal agencies will lapse unless Congress acts. The Senate rejected a Republican-led stopgap funding bill intended to extend the government operations through November 21st. The bill failed to secure the 60 votes that is needed in the Senate to advance. The vote among Democrats was nearly unanimous against the bill.
But why didn't the funding measure pass? That's the question. The divide is over healthcare. Democrats insisted that any funding extension includes restoration of Affordable Care Act, that's the ACA subsidies, and reversal of cuts to Medicaid. Republicans resisted this, arguing that the funding bill should stay clean without policy riders or added healthcare mandates. One Democratic proposal, which was a $1.5 trillion alternative, would have allocated about $350 billion to extend expiring Obamacare tax credits and reverse nearly $1 trillion in planned Medicaid cuts. And that proposal itself failed in a Senate vote of 47 to 45.
Now, next up, let's take a look at what this shutdown can mean on the ground for workers and for the American public. Now, the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, estimates that up to 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed daily. Lost compensation is projected at around $400 million per day in unpaid wages.
But some essential services will continue. Air traffic controllers, TSA screeners, federal law enforcement and critical safety inspections must operate even without funding. Still, unpaid workers and furloughed staff may strain these operations over time, leading to delays, cancellations or safety bottlenecks in aviation, permits, regulatory oversight and even more. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, would furlough over 11,000 employees, about 1/4 of its workforce, even as 13,000 plus air traffic controllers are required to work without pay.
Now, the TSA may see disruptions. Around 50,000 of its personnel might continue working, but without compensation. A shutdown could cost the travel industry as much as $1 billion per week in lost revenue.
Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader John Thune, blame Democrats for blocking a clean funding bill, as mentioned earlier, and Democrats counter that Republicans refuse to engage on healthcare provisions and that the GOP insists on a take-it-or-leave-it approach.
President Trump, on the other hand, has threatened irreversible cuts to benefit program if no deal is reached. Labor unions have sued the administration's Office of Management and Budget and Office of Personnel Management, challenging directives to prepare mass layoffs or reduction in force during a shutdown.
Now, the unions argue that such threats may violate existing federal law, especially the Anti-Deficiency Act, which bars spending without appropriation. Currently, talks remain stalled. Democrats are unified in their opposition and Republicans insist on their own terms.
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani sent us this report from New York.
A partial government shutdown seems imminent, and if funding lapses, non-essential federal service will halt and many federal employees will be furloughed or go without pay. The Congressional Budget Office estimates up to 750,000 workers could be affected daily, costing hundreds of millions in lost wages. Key programs like public housing support, unemployment report, as well as regulatory work may be disrupted or delayed. Also, air travel and aircraft safety may be impacted through parts of the FAA. But beyond the operational chaos, a shutdown also hands extra discretion to the White House to ultimately decide which agencies stay open and which fall silent, potentially reshaping budget priorities long term. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION The World.
A powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake has jolted the central Philippines.
It has collapsed buildings and killed at least 31 people as of now. The shallow quake occurred at before 9:50 p.m. local time along the northern tip of the island of Cebu, which is home to 3.2 million. The United States Geological Survey recorded the depth of the quake as 10 kilometers.
People panicked, dashing out into the streets. A stone church was among the buildings that was damaged. 9 adults and 4 children were killed in Bogo. 5 more deaths were confirmed in the nearby municipality of San Remigo, along with one in Tabulan.
In a live video message on her official Facebook account, Cebu Provincial Governor Pamela Baricuarto urged residents to stay calm and move to open areas, keep away from walls or structures that may collapse, and stay alert for aftershocks.
Now, the rescue effort proceeded all night, even as the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said that the region was being rocked by 379 aftershocks. Provincial rescue officials told AFP that there could be people trapped beneath collapsed buildings.
Quakes are a near daily occurrence in the Philippines, which is situated on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity stretching from Japan through Southeast Asia and across Pacific Basin. Now, Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration is in full swing, and in the latest, the first group of about 400 Iranians are set to be deported.
Now, the latest batch of deportees will first be landing in Qatar before flying back to Tehran. As per reports, most of these deportees are either convicted criminals or Iranian nationals who made their way to US via Mexico.
The deportations of Iranians comes at a time when both the nations are at loggerheads over Iran's nuclear program. It also comes after United Nations reimposed sanctions on Iran, putting new pressure on the nation's ailing economy.
Reports suggest Iran has been working with the US on a deal to remove the Iranian nationals through its US interests section at the Pakistani embassy in Tehran. It is a rare instance of cooperation between Iran and the US, who do not have formal diplomatic ties. The deportations also represent a collision of a top priority of President Donald Trump targeting illegal immigration against a decades-long practice by the US of welcoming Iranian dissidents, exiles and others since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And in a brazen attack, Russian drones struck the Ukrainian city of Dnipro, killing 1 person and injuring more than 15 others. Emergency teams continue battling fires and tending to the wounded as the city reels from the violence.
Now, residents of the area weighed in on the strike, describing it as terrifying and expressing fear and uncertainty about their safety moving forward.
was scared, of course. I just can't get over it. It's terrifying, really terrifying. Even the basement won't help. Where can you run when there have already been 3 explosions before you even manage to reach it?
In a related development, according to a regional governor, 2 brothers aged 4 and 6 along with their parents were killed in an overnight Russian drone attack on a village in the northern Sumy region. Rescue workers have recovered the bodies from the rubble. Meanwhile, U.S. Special Presidential Envoy Keith Kellogg said that Russia does not have the capability to win the war in Ukraine. Speaking at the Warsaw Security Forum, which gathered nearly 2,500 delegates from 80 countries, Kellogg expressed great confidence in the Ukrainians amid ongoing support discussions.
I don't know if his generals are telling him the truth or not, but he cannot overpower NATO. He cannot overpower the West. He just can't. He does not have the capacity to do it. I have great confidence in the Ukrainians. We know that President Zelensky is in a good position in that regard.
Now, Romania is moving quickly to establish production of defensive drones at home in partnership with Ukraine. This effort comes as tensions rise with Moscow. Estonia reports repeated Russian fighter jet incursions. NATO jets have intercepted drones over Poland, and Romania's jets recently nearly engaged an unidentified drone in its airspace.
There are discussions around common production facilities, production capacities in Romania. Because what we're looking at together with Ukraine is to use the know-how that they now have in circumstances that are impossible to replicate, and to build the defensive capacity that we need, not just for Romania, but also as an offering for other EU and NATO countries.
Now, in addition, Estonia's Prime Minister Kristen Michal cautioned that Russia's recent air incursions appear aimed at diverting European focus from supporting Ukraine ahead of an upcoming EU summit in Copenhagen.
They are all the time testing these boundaries. And when you step on somebody's borders or boundaries, then you try to achieve that they are more concerned with themselves. So this is the pattern. Putin wants to have us talking about ourselves, not about Ukraine, not about helping Ukraine, not to push back Russia and Ukraine.
In a show of allied commitment to regional security, multinational forces including French, Estonian, British and American troops are taking part in the ongoing picnic military exercises in Estonia. These drills involve realistic scenarios across land, air and maritime domains and serve to strengthen NATO's operational readiness and cooperation in the Baltic region. Well, now it's time for a very short break on World Eating. We'll be right back with more news and updates. We begin with 9 workers that have died as an under-construction structure collapsed at the Ennore Thermal Power Station near Chennai. We'll get you all the details on that on the other side.
Puja celebrations have lit up India's national capital, New Delhi, with bright lights and colors, dazzling visitors and families alike. We'll bring you all these dazzling visuals. This and a lot more lined up for you on the other side of this short break. Come right back. This is World DNA.
India's Global Voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
where darkness hides behind every corner, where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders, psychopaths who defy explanation, international war crimes, and millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister plot. Prime Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
So today is a historic day for peace, and Prime Minister Netanyahu.
If Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, then Israel will finish the job by itself.
Israel would have my full backing to finish the job.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Welcome back. You're watching WION World is One. This is World DNA with Jolts. I'm Shivan. Let's start with the headlines.
Rescuers search collapsed buildings for survivors after a powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake jolts central Philippines, killing at least 31 people on the island of Cebu, with fears the toll can rise.
Israel's government confirms appointment of Major General David Zinni as head of the Shin Bet security agency. Selection sparks anger from families of Gaza hostages over his reported opposition to the hostage release talks.
Yemen's Houthi rebel claim responsibility for an attack on a Dutch cargo ship this week in the Gulf of Aden. Cargo ship MV Minerva was hit by a projectile on Monday, wounding 2 people and sparking a fire.
One dead and 15 others injured in Russian drone strike on the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. Attack ignites fire that engulfs a large office building and damages nearby structures, including a children's hospital.
We'll probably have a shutdown because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare, to illegal immigrants. And what that does is it keeps them coming into our country.
The U.S. government barrels towards its first shutdown in 6 years, with funding expiring at midnight after Democrats fight a war of words with Donald Trump and senators reject a last-ditch bid to keep the lights on.
Will you get the Nobel Prize? Absolutely not. They'll give it to some guy that didn't do a damn thing. It'll be a big insult to our country, I will tell you that.
Trump says it would be an insult to the US if he does not receive the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in resolving multiple global conflicts, as the prestigious award is set to be announced on the 10th of October.
UNSC adopts a resolution to transform a UN-backed security mission in gang-dominated Haiti into a full-fledged force with military troops. New force can have a maximum of 5,500 uniformed personnel.
Military court in the Democratic Republic of Congo sentences former President Joseph Kabila to death in absentia for treason. He was found guilty of collaborating with the M23 anti-government armed group.
Galatasaray stunned Liverpool for their first Champions League home win in 7 years. The Reds' night worsened as goalkeeper Alisson Becker was forced off with an injury. Now, after a week of strict curfew in the violence-hit town of Leh in the Union Territory of Ladakh, curfew restrictions were lifted for the entire day on Tuesday.
And this signals a gradual return to normalcy in the Union Territory. Following days of confinement, markets reopened, public movement resumed, and residents were seen stepping out to buy essential supplies and resume daily activities. Earlier, restrictions were briefly eased for 2 hours from 4 p.m. on Monday, shortly after the last rites were performed for 4 individuals, including a retired army personnel who died during the widespread clashes between protesters and law enforcement agencies on the 24th of September.
And according to authorities, apart from the violence that occurred last Wednesday, no untoward incidents have been reported from any part of the region. Police and paramilitary forces remain heavily deployed in sensitive areas, maintaining strict vigilance to ensure law and order is upheld. The official highlighted that a decision on extending the relaxation will be made in response to the developing circumstances.
However, mobile internet services remain suspended as a precautionary measure to prevent the spread of misinformation and maintain law and order. Officials said that digital services would resume as soon as the situation on the ground is considered safe and stable.
Meanwhile, prohibitory orders banning assemblies of 5 or more people are still enforced in other major parts of the Union territory, including Kargil. Lieutenant Governor Kavindra Gupta has been chairing high-level security review meetings almost on a daily basis.
The curfew was imposed in Leh on the evening of 24th September following violent protests during a shutdown called by a constituent of the Leh Apex body to advance talks with the centre on the demands for statehood and extension of the 6th schedule to Ladakh. More than 60 people, including 2 councillors, they were taken into custody following the incident, and these included climate activist Sonam Wangchuk, who was detained under the National Security Act NSA on September 26th and subsequently lodged at Jodhpur jail in Rajasthan. And to get us a better understanding of what's happening now, our senior special correspondent Idris Lone from Srinagar is joining us on the phone line. Idris, give us an understanding of how things look like in Leh in Ladakh.
Well, Shivan, it looks like the situation is coming back to normal across Leh region as well as Kargil. The Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh, Kavindra Gupta, held a special security review meeting in which it was decided that on Tuesday the curfew would be relaxed from 10 to 2 p.m. After that, when the situation looked like very normal, it was extended till 5 p.m. And then the order came that on Wednesday, which is today, the curfew will be relaxed for the whole day. All the shopkeepers who sell essential items as well as commodities as well as hardware stores have been asked to stay open during this period. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Home Affairs had already issued an order in which they said that the mobile internet services will be shut across Leh region till the 3rd of October. This also comes in view of seeing the situation on the ground, that there have been no protests, there have been no untoward incidents taking place all across Leh and Kargil. Although both the bodies, Leh Apex body as well as the Kargil Democratic Alliance, both of them have decided not to go ahead with the talks with the centre, which were scheduled for 30th of September and 6th of October. The Kargil Democratic Alliance yesterday gave out a statement saying till the time all the allegations that have been levelled against Sonam Wangchuk are not retracted, they will not go ahead with the talks. Meanwhile, the Leh Apex body just a day before that had announced that till the time situation across Ladakh region does not normalize, they will also not go ahead with the talks. So there seems to be a roadblock for the talks with the centre on the issues, especially the 4 issues that the people of Ladakh have been demanding, which includes statehood as well as reservations. Now we need to see what really happens in terms of talks, because there is a roadblock there between the government and the Apex body.
Right, and of course, as you mentioned, that there won't be talks going forward. Of course, we'll have to see what comes out of that. But thank you so much, Idris, for joining us and giving all the details. We'll be back to you if we get any more details. Well, 9 workers have died as an under-construction structure collapsed at the Ennore Thermal Power Station near Chennai.
3 great bays of the space frame being erected for the roof of a coal handling shed reportedly collapsed to the ground along with the workers involved in connecting them, killing them on the spot. The lone worker, admitted to the hospital, fortunately managed to hang on to the steel structure and was rescued later. Prime Minister Modi and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin expressed deep sorrow over the incident. Prime Minister Modi announced an ex gratia of rupees 2 lakhs, while Chief Minister M.K. Stalin declared a compensation of 10 lakh rupees for the families of the deceased.
Now, the workers who lost their lives in the accident are all from Assam. Earlier, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma said that the state government is coordinating with the authorities in Tamil Nadu to bring back the mortal remains of the workers. Sama identified the victims and expressed his deepest condolences to their families and well-wishers. And well, joining us now on the broadcast on the phone line is our principal correspondent, Siddharth MP. Siddharth, thank you so much for joining us. If you could just bring us all the latest that you have picked up from the ground.
This is actually a tragedy that unfolded close to 6 p.m. last evening, and there's an expansion work going on at this thermal power plant, and this expansion is being carried out by the government firm known as Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. So it is at their site that this particular tragedy unfolded, post-sunset hour. So it's at that time that an arch almost from a height of 40 meters. So it is from that height that this collapse took place. So the workers were trapped under that, and in the immediate aftermath, there were efforts to rescue, but it was in vain because it was from that kind of a height that the construction debris or construction material had fallen. So 9 workers were initially trapped, 9 to 10 workers were initially trapped, and only one of them was recovered alive and taken to a hospital. 9 of them, unfortunately, lost their lives on the spot. And in the immediate aftermath of the incident, 1 person was hospitalized and 9 immediately were declared dead. And, officials managed to reach the spot, within a couple of hours after the incident. And thereafter, there's also been reviews that were conducted by the officials. However, there is not much clarity as to how this mishap took place and how this collapse happened, whether there was a specific root cause that is yet to be ascertained. As far as the injured individual is concerned, Tamil Nadu ministers have met him at the hospital and also spoken to him to just gather some information on what really went on at the site. And as you pointed out a while back, the Tamil Nadu government is in touch with the Assam government for repatriation of the mortal remains to their home state.
Understood. Siddharth, thanks so much for getting us those updates. Of course, this has been tragic. As the details are, as we await the details to come in, we'll continue to track the developments. That was Siddharth MP getting us the latest from Chennai. And next up, here's a look at what's making headlines in India at this hour. Starting with the Ministry of Home Affairs, which has issued a new directive to non-governmental organizations, NGOs, registered under the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act or FCRA 2010. NGOs registered under the FCRA will now have to submit renewal applications at least 4 months before expiry, and this is to ensure timely processing and avoid disruptions, as many have previously filed within 90 days, affecting scrutiny and security clearances.
One construction worker died and 5 others were injured after a slab collapsed on them at an under-construction fire station of the Kodapur Municipal Corporation on Tuesday night. Now, as per reports, the slab's construction had been completed on Tuesday and it collapsed the same day around 9:30 p.m. local time.
Lieutenant Governor Kavindra Gupta chaired a high-level review meeting to assess the prevailing law and order situation in the Union Territory of Ladakh. The meeting was attended by top officials from the Army, CRPF and District Administration. During this meeting, officials briefed the LG on the latest developments, security preparedness and inter-agency coordination to ensure peace and order in the region.
In the state of Karnataka, incessant rains have resulted in swollen Bhima River, leading to floods in Vijaypura and nearby areas. Incessant downpour over the last few days in northern Karnataka has led to widespread damage to crops and affected several families living in low-lying areas.
India is expected to receive 15% more rainfall than normal in the month of October, following more than expected rains during the 4-month monsoon season already. The weather department says maximum temperatures in October are likely to be above normal in most parts of east, northeast and northwest India.
Now, in the global defense race, China has outpaced U.S. once again.
Beijing has unveiled its Golden Dome prototype, which is a cutting-edge shield system, before U.S. could even put up a concrete plan for it. It is known as the Distributed Early Warning Detection Big Data Platform. The system can identify and analyze potential threats in real time. It integrates a wide array of sensors located in space, at sea, in the air and on land. It can acquire essential details such as flight trajectories, the type of weapon, and whether the missile is a genuine warhead or just a decoy.
Although the development of the shield system is in early stages, it has the capacity to simultaneously track 1,000 miles fired at China from anywhere on the planet. For Washington, this is a wake-up call. While the U.S. debates strategy and funding for similar systems, China has already taken a leap forward.
4 months ago, President Donald Trump proposed the Golden Dome initiative to break down geographical barriers and create a system for global information sharing. Trump selected a design for his Golden Dome missile defense system and appointed a leader for the ambitious $175 billion defense program.
Now, America's adversaries are building and testing advanced missile systems designed to bypass traditional defenses. China boasts of Dongfeng 41, intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of 15,000 kilometers, traveling at speeds of above 30,000 kilometers. It is built to evade modern radar system. Then North Korea has Hwasong 15 that can reach speeds of Mach 22, which is about 27,000 kilometers. Theoretically, it can reach all of U.S. mainland. Then there's Russia's Samad or Satan II missile, a massive long-range ICBM with MIRV capability, which means the missile contains several warheads.
And with the Chinese Golden Dome already in prototype field trials, the message from China is loud and clear. It's not waiting for the US to catch up. For America, the race is no longer about who has the best ideas, but who can put boots, ships, and now even shields in the field first. Gold is glittering brighter than ever this September.
Prices have hit record highs as investors rush to safe haven assets driven by U.S. uncertainty and expectations of further Federal Reserve rate cuts. Now, this next report breaks down what's behind this unprecedented rally and what it means for investors worldwide. Take a look. Gold is hitting record highs on a daily basis. Investors are rushing to safe haven assets amid U.S. uncertainty and Trump's tariff theatrics. Expectations of further Federal Reserve rate cuts and a softer dollar add fuel to the rally. Analysts say rising uncertainty is making gold an increasingly attractive hedge, with market sentiment driving prices towards new milestones. According to projections, the $4,000 mark is now a viable year-end target as investors flock to gold. The surge is not limited to gold. Silver, platinum, and palladium have also climbed sharply, supported by strong industrial and technology demand. Investment banks such as Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan remain bullish, projecting further upside for gold if U.S. political tensions persist. With forecasts ranging from $5,000 to $6,000 per ounce, the market sees these metals as undervalued, reinforcing the ongoing rally. The gold rally has also translated into strong profits for miners, with major producers enjoying margins well above production costs. Macro and geopolitical factors are underpinning the metal surge. Inflation, high global debt, trade tensions, and political uncertainty are driving safe haven demands. At the same time, industrial consumption in green technology, EVs, and electronics is tightening supply. Analysts suggest these combined factors could sustain the rally in the months ahead. Business Bureau report, WION World is One.
India are off to a winning start in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup.
An all-round performance by Deepti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur's crucial 57 runs helped the women in blue beat co-host Sri Lanka by 59 runs in the curtain raiser.
Now sent to bat first, India lost Smriti Mandhana early, opener Pratika Rawal and Harleen Deol then led the recovery with a crucial 67-run stand after Rawal was dismissed for 37. Deol and skipper Harmanpreet Kaur added 39 runs to take India past the 100-run mark. However, Deol's wicket for 48 in the 26th over triggered a mini batting collapse. From 120 for 2, India slipped to 124 for 6, losing 4 wickets and this was 4 wickets for 4 runs. As India stared at trouble, Deepti Sharma and Amanjot Kaur came to the rescue. The pair made the most of the lifelines they got and added 103 runs for the 7th wicket.
Amanjot scored 57 while Deepti made 53. Then Sneh Rana's quick-fire 28 off 15 balls helped India post 269 for 8. With a revised target of 271 because of the rain interruption, Sri Lanka made a decent start and put up 30 runs before they lost their first wicket. Skipper Chamari Athapattu looked dangerous in Guwahati, but before she could take the game away from India, Deepti came to her team's rescue again, this time with a ball. Sri Lanka struggled to build partnerships after that, and when Sneh Rana ended Nilashka Silva's cameo for 35 in the 35th over, the writing was on the wall. From 173 for 7, the Lankan tail could only take them to 211 before Rawal sealed the win. Deepti Sharma was named the player of the match for her 3 for 54 and half century with the bat, as India got off to a winning start. Now, before we go any further, we have some breaking news coming in. Zubeen Garg's manager Siddharth Sharma and festival organizer Shyamkanu Mahanta have been arrested in Delhi.
The duo has been taken into custody and are under investigation for Garg's death, who died in Singapore while swimming in the sea without a life jacket. Mahanta was arrested on his arrival at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi from Singapore, while Sharma was arrested from an apartment in Gurugram.
Now, the duo has been brought to Guwahati. Assam government has constituted a 10-member SIT led by Special DGP to investigate the singer's death. Now, for people just joining in, Zubeen Garg's manager Siddharth Sharma and festival organizer Shyamkanu Mahanta have been arrested in Delhi. Now, the duo had been taken into custody and are under investigation for Garg's death, who died in Singapore while swimming in the sea without a life jacket. Mahanta was arrested on his arrival at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi from Singapore, while Sharma was arrested from an apartment in Gurugram, and the duo has been brought to Guwahati. Assam government has constituted a 10-member SID led by Special DGP to investigate the singer's death.
And finally, this festive season, the Republic of Zufari in Delhi has transformed into a dazzling display of lights and colors.
In this exclusive report by WION's Samarpita Das, we go inside this unique festival that blends timeless traditions with modern fun, creating a truly spectacular experience for families and visitors. We leave you with this report. Do stay tuned. News and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching WION What is One. Stay tuned.
the Deepavali celebrated the authentic way with Ramayana and also the Aarti. It is just mind-blowing.
So wonderful about this place. I'm here with my 2-year-old and my 13-year-old niece, and I think it's amazing that there is something to do for like all ages over here. We're all having such a good time. We're clearly like loving the food here. The vibe is great. The aarti was wonderful. I remember doing like Ram Leelas as a kid, but I think now just coming back with like the kids and seeing everything through their eyes, it just makes everything so much more fun again. Like you wouldn't do this otherwise.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.